All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back, episode 32 of The Buzz About East Brunswick. This is, of course, Mayor Cohen. I'm Greg T, and we are taking it to you live from our East Brunswick Public Library on this great day. So if you're listening to us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music, or Amazon, thank you very much. Or maybe you're streaming us on YouTube, and you're, of course, watching us at EBTV26. We appreciate each and every single one of you for being along for the ride. Today, we've got just an amazing, amazing show planned. I've been waiting for, I don't know how many weeks or months to finally get into this episode. Cannot wait. I really, my God.
It is an A1 day today. It really is beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, where we are here in the East Brunswick Public Library, we've got ceiling-to-floor windows so we can see outside, and it is absolutely just a beautiful day. Hence why we decided to take this room here at the East Brunswick Public Library.
Exactly.
Yeah, really, really great. So let's start. How was your weekend?
Actually, it was relaxing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah, you did. That's right. We're about to get into all of that.
Yeah.
Are you following the Knicks right now in the playoffs?
I am. Are
you a basketball?
I find that, well, I don't really, I don't normally watch it during the regular season.
Right.
I like college basketball,
Yeah.
and I do like playoff basketball. That's a lot more exciting. And but of course it's a New York team, so you got to watch it.
That's the only reason why I'm paying attention to it, is that because the Knicks are from New York. But I've never been a really big basketball fan.
No,
I wasn't. You know, I keep thinking because I'm just so short. You know, like every time I try to take a
shot at that
right,
one,
some big guy would just swat it out of my hands, and I'm like, this is not a fun sport for me to play.
It wouldn't have to be a big guy. It would have to be just anyone taller than me, which is like 95% of the population.
Well, I'm really 5'5". I just tell everybody I'm 5'6" on a good day. I give myself an extra inch and call it 5'6". But yeah, being so damn short, it didn't matter. I cannot shoot the basketball for anything. I am not a good basketball player, so I never liked it. But yeah, you're right. So because the New York team is in it, then I guess, yeah, there's something to follow. And, you know, they haven't done anything, or, you know, like this since they say 1973. Oh,
no, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when they were great. I remember the Bill Bradley, the Busher,
those are the
Frazier.
days.
Those are like names that were in my memory when they were really, really great. And we haven't had that.
No, 1973.
Decades. Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable. But anyway, yes, so we're keeping up to score with that. We are definitely in summertime now, even though it's the unofficial start of summer. Summer doesn't really begin until June 21st. But any big summer plans? What are you doing? Vacations? What do you guys do on the vacation?
No,
summer?
you know, I'm not. We have a pool.
Yeah, me too.
And so it costs so damn much money to maintain it and to keep it in shape during the year.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like an idiot spending all that money for a limited season and then going away.
Yeah, if we're going to go away.
I don't have kids in school anymore, so I don't need to go away during the summer.
Oh, that's true. You're lucky. You're right.
Right. So my problem is that you would think then that I go away at other times.
Right.
And I'm so bad at doing that.
So you don't really go on vacations?
I wish I did more. I'm bad at planning. Mm-hmm. I hate the planning of a vacation.
Okay.
And my wife hates the planning. If somebody just planned the whole thing out
for you
and it was all done, they adjusted our office hours. It's so many things that need to be done just to go away that I don't want to have to do.
Right.
But if someone did it for me, I would go. And I'm also not good at vacations where you just relax and do nothing. I would hate that.
So you need more of like a touristy, where you like
I love history,
Gettysburg.
So I'll go
Virginia.
to. There's a lot of places in the United States that I haven't visited, which I feel bad about because we should be going.
Grand Canyon,
but Europe and South America.
Oh, wow.
Middle East and Asia. There's so many phenomenal places to go to.
Yeah, the pyramids.
Where it's full of history.
Yeah,
and you could wake up every day and see something new and learn about
the
past, because clearly nobody does it.
Right.
And we keep repeating mistakes over and over again that clearly people made before. So if you learn from your history, maybe you could try.
It doesn't seem like we ever learn.
We don't.
No. We just try to reinvent the wheel constantly. You know, like we're not following what our brothers and sisters did for us back in history.
Yeah, we don't stand on the shoulders of people that came before us. Yeah. And their human nature hasn't changed.
No, you're right.
So you find yourself in some conflict situations as if, wow, this is novel. This has never happened before, but it has.
Yeah. Hey, listen, so there's some really cool things happening here in East Brunswick. We've got a lot of new businesses coming to town, and I was looking at the schedule. We have a lot of ribbon cuttings that are happening, which is great. I mean, we wanted that. We wanted a lot more businesses to pay attention to what's going on in East Brunswick, and hence our phrase. There's a lot going on in East Brunswick, and now we've got even our very first pizza place that opened up in Legacy. Is it Bonesse? Bonesse. Just opened up in Legacy. We have Body Rock, the new Pilates that's opening up for us, H2O Nail Studio, and Mira V, the assisted living that's opening up. So those are pretty cool things that are happening this year.
Right, and they're not all in one category.
Right, no, they're all over the place.
So that shows you that there's a lot of general interest in coming to the town.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of creating the situation that makes people want to come here.
Right.
And so a lot of the redevelopment plans that have been put in place and worked on now for a very long time are starting to bear fruit, because while some businesses leave, they can't compete and survive, but that opens up an opportunity for a new one to come in.
Yeah.
And there's interest.
No, that's great. It's all about causing the buzz about East Brunswick, and no, it's doing great. And yeah, that's what you set out to do, is to bring in new businesses to really flourish here in East Brunswick. Revive a lot of the areas of East Brunswick, and it seems like you're accomplishing what you're after, which is great.
It's starting to happen.
Yeah.
And I think we all should be excited about that. That every new opportunity that's coming here to take properties that were really in bad shape,
right,
and convert it into the type of attractions that people have said for the longest time that they want here.
Well, that area there, the Vermella and the Legacy, it's just they're both exploding. They're just going to look
and when
beautiful.
The mall gets to its
Right.
point, which we're not clearly 100% sure what that's going to be when it grows up.
Right.
We're working on that, but same mentality that we want it to be unique and different.
Right.
And what we've never wanted is a cut and paste of what people have seen in terms of residential units and that you see all over the state. We didn't want that. We have a very important, critically located business corridor, and we want to invest in making sure that what we do here is unique and different, and brings in the type of retail that everybody says they want to see come back here. It's starting to happen.
Yeah, it really is. It's starting to look good, which is great. We're headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right, so then why don't we move on to what we're really going to be talking about? Let's take a quick break and get into it. As I'm sure most viewers know, our very own mayor ran for Congress, and we were finally allowed to really get into it and to discuss, your experience and what that was like on that on the political stage. And I can't really get into it and hear it right from your own words, and what your experience was like, and the people that you met along the way, what you got out of it. And so we're going to dive into that. That's going to be a huge part of today's podcast. And like I said earlier, when we first started it, I'm so excited because as many people don't know, we weren't allowed to really discuss it while this was going on. We had to stay away from it, in order to keep your run clean. And that's how it was. So
yeah, and we did that.
We did a good job. Yeah, it was difficult at times. It was. But we're going to get into that in just a second. So let's take a look inside and around East Brunswick. And when we get back, right from the mayor's own words, we're going to figure out and we're going to hear all about his journey through his run for Congress. We'll be right back with the Buzz About East Brunswick.
Good afternoon, almost evening, everyone. My name is Frank Lasacco. I'm the Chief of Police here in East Brunswick. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, for welcoming our newest hires and joining our East Brunswick Police family on the Special Police. The newest hires have just completed a 80-hour course, which was a Class 1 Special Police Academy. We're very proud of them. It was challenging at times, I'm sure, but they got through it and they did well.
This is a big event. These guys in a couple of seconds are going to put their hand on the Bible and their name on the paper that basically says that they are going to support the laws and the rules and the rights of the Constitution of the United States. This is the body and the groups of people that will ensure that safety for every one of us that live, work, and travel through our community. And we don't take that lightly. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and do my best to achieve the mission of the East Brunswick Police Department. So help me God. Congratulations, officers.
They're now moving on to an awesome responsibility. They know that we've spoken about this, an opportunity to save a life or make a big difference in somebody's life. So we take that very seriously.
All right, guys, and we are back with episode 32 of the Buzz About East Brunswick. And finally, let's get into it. Let's reveal it. It's like, was it the pink elephant in the room? The old saying, there's a, we wanted to discuss this, or at least I did, for many, many episodes of Mayor Cohen's run for Congress. And you were running for the 12th seat in the congressional district, and you were running for Bonnie Watson Coleman's seat.
It's the 12th congressional.
12th right. And many weeks gearing up for our episodes here. I would ask your assistant and other people here, can we discuss it? But we just could not get into it, and it was really just to kind of protect your run for the political stage there, and we had to really watch the grounds.
Well, I just think it's important that we not mix up town business with something that's outside of the town, and use or have anybody say that we were using this forum to promote a congressional campaign. So we just stayed clear of it.
It was so frustrating. I wanted to dive in, especially when you started going around to all the bagel stores. You were meeting people everywhere. I
think there's about 5 pounds from that.
Oh, please! No, I got more than that. Oh my gosh! All right, so let's get into it then. So you've been mayor for more than a decade, and here in East Brunswick, but then you decided there was more for you, and you took this opportunity, this chance to run for Congress. So what was the point of your life or in your time where you sat there and said, I'm going to go do this? Like, what was it that triggered it and said, I want this?
Well, I think as in anything, sometimes opportunities just present themselves. Right. So congressional seats don't come up that frequently. It's very difficult to run against an incumbent. You could win. I mean, it is doable. It's been done, but it's harder. But the congresswoman was retiring. Yeah. So it opens up an open seat. And so opportunity then combined with experience now in government, in Board of Ed, and in life, in practice, all of those experiences led me to a point where I felt that I had the skills that would be needed to be able to take on a job like that. And then you have to decide after you feel you're qualified. Right. Are you ready to put yourself out there?
Yeah, sure. On that national stage. Yeah.
It's a national stage, but even here, you're living as mayor in a little bit of a fish tank.
True.
And so you're already accustomed to having criticisms and comments and things that are out there in the public that in many times are hurtful and not true. But you have to
brush it off, right?
Brush it off. And that's what you need if you're going to times 10 if you're going to run in a federal campaign like that, because now you're putting yourself out to an even wider public.
Right.
And there will always be critics. There will always be people who would challenge you, and some of it they should, right? The public deserves a right to know why you're running, right, and why you're better than the next person, and what it is that you're going to do that's different. And
had you not done this, would you have had regret? I mean, you're a very successful doctor, you are, and you're doing an amazing job here as the mayor of East Brunswick. So some would say, man, he's got everything already. Why want more, So
Well, I think anybody that's doing public service for the right reasons wants to make people's lives better. No different than doing medicine for the right reason, right? You're solving people's problems, you're helping them through often very difficult times and be able to navigate a sea that they really don't have any direction. You have to provide that.
Right.
And a level of compassion and an ability to get them from A to B when the road and the way to get there is often very foggy. That you have to be able to do. You have to be able to take very complicated topics and be able to explain them in ways in which it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
And public service, I don't think, is any different. So I think the skills are transferable is the point. I wanted to go out and do that now for a larger region that needs that.
Yeah. No, there's a lot that we all need for sure. That's for sure. We need somebody, with a more level head that can, really steer us in the right direction.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I believe that.
So what was the conversation like with you and your family, if you don't mind us getting really intimate? But what was it like when your family found out that you really wanted to push it and go to the next level?
I've been very fortunate. My family's always been supportive of everything that I wanted to do, and they've been behind me. So it wasn't a big lift for them to support me because they've been doing it all along.
Yeah.
And they also, like me, they get very insulted when they see some of the comments and stuff that's just mean-spirited or not well thought out, or just not, people just aren't aware of things and make comments, which is what we do all the time, and we see it all the time. So they often get more, peeved about it than I do.
Sure.
So they knew too that if I looked to do something in a more public arena that's beyond the borders of East Brunswick, that is only going to get worse. And but they were with me, so I don't. That's fortunately never been a rate limiter for me, but you can't get off the starting pad without it.
Right. No, of course, you've got to have a strong supporting cast for sure. And when you're dealing with politics, without a doubt, I mean, your family's going to be involved no matter whether you want them or not, because they're going to nitpick everything that goes on in your life. And that's
and then disagreements and people not agreeing with your decisions or not understanding how you got to that. That's natural.
Yeah.
That's why we have town halls. That's why we have opportunities for people to write or to come in or go to council meetings, or all of those things exist.
Okay.
But people don't always make themselves available. It's just easier to write something on.
What's one of the most
media.
What's one of the most proudest moments that you had during this campaign? Like, what are you really proud of? It may not have ended up exactly how you wanted it to, but you can definitely, I think you can say that your campaign still was successful in the people that you met and along the way, in the conversation you had.
Well, fortunately, we come from a really good county, which I think is run well.
Yeah.
Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I think we're a very well organized county, and and I was very fortunate to have the support of all of the committee members that are part of the Middlesex County Democratic Organization.
Yeah.
I think that to me was the proudest moment, because these are people who are involved in their own communities in government. So they have a keen sense of who's doing a good job, who's really making things happen for their communities. And that's what a county convention is about. It's about those people who are elected, right? Committee people are elected.
Right.
Giving their opinion on who they believe should represent Middlesex County.
Sure, yep.
And there I overwhelmingly won that. So that means to me, in the eyes of the people who are most observant to what's going on in communities, I had their support.
That's right. That's great. Yeah, they trusted you. That's great. Yeah. And now, if you had won and moved on, is there one thing that you really wanted to make a change or make that moment? Like, what was that staple that you were looking forward to doing?
The biggest thing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think we need to do in Congress, but as a physician and humanitarian, I think that our healthcare system is one that is in desperate need of repair.
Right.
And it's grotesquely unfair and unevenly distributed. It's extraordinarily costly. And our net result after all of that cost is that compared to most other industrialized countries, we are not performing as well.
Wow.
So that, given my background, is something that I would have wanted to attack first. And it overlaps a lot of other issues that people care about right now, which is the affordability issue of clearly healthcare expenses. Look at what's going on the school board or in towns. One of the biggest reasons for a lot of those tax increases is because of the incredible increase in healthcare costs.
Yep, absolutely.
So it translates to something very tangible to people because the cost of healthcare is going up faster than the raises that they're getting. So you're actually falling behind.
Yeah.
And so here's healthcare overlapping with affordability, which is a big issue to people, and fundamental fairness. It is not a fair system. And I think we're recognizing today that based on your job, your income, your health care, you shouldn't have to worry you're going to go bankrupt.
That's correct.
Because you can't afford your health insurance, or even with the insurance that you have, it's so expensive that you have to opt for plans that have higher copays, deductibles, or voluntarily limit certain levels of coverage. And I've seen people go bankrupt with insurance.
Wow.
So it's a system that's grossly unfair. So I think that while healthcare is a big enough topic on its own, it overlaps the issue of fairness, and it overlaps the issue of affordability. So if there was one thing to attack, it would be that one.
Going through this process of now having to be out there on the national stage and campaigning for yourself, what was there something that you actually took from this that you learned about yourself? You're like, wow, I didn't realize this. What did you take for yourself out of this? What did you learn about yourself? There had to be something.
Well, there's a lot of good people that are out there that are working in government in different levels, different jobs, different functions, in different towns that are part of our large congressional district. And they're doing some pretty phenomenal things, and they're getting, successful results. And I think that they should be recognized for it. Doesn't always mean you're going to win the election. Clearly, they didn't. But I think at least for the moment in time while the election's taking place, it's giving those people a spotlight for the things that they justly deserve credit for.
What made you want to go and start going into all the bagel stores? I thought that was really, ingenious, where everybody's going to hang out there, and you didn't just do one. You went to many different bagel stores all through the area, and you met so many people. And who gave you that idea? What made you say, I'm going to go visit people and have a cup of coffee with them?
Well,
sit down.
I first of all, I think that it was important to get out to the different towns that are part of the congressional district. So how do you do that in a way that's fun? And it also gave me the opportunity to highlight small businesses, which I think are the backbone of the economy in this country.
Sure.
Right? It's not all the big multinational companies that when you see the kids at the baseball field, it's usually the back is being sponsored by a mom and pop business, not
the national brands.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what they are often the ones involved in the community. They're part of the chamber. They're part of that. Like, that's, to me, hometown America. They should be celebrated. Their profit margins are not that great.
Sure. No, it's very tight for them.
So highlighting them was really an important thing for me. Bagels, I mean, it's non-controversial.
They're right. You're right.
People get really controversial and uptight over pizza. I was thinking of pizza, but they get really emotional with
No,
that.
everybody loves the bagels. Everybody loves it. Doesn't matter. It's great. Did you find one place that you really love the most?
Nah, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay. I figured there's got to be one where you taste it and you're like, damn, that's a pretty good bagel.
Yeah, there were surprisingly a couple of really good ones in places I wouldn't have expected it. So, but it was nice, and you got to meet some of the owners, and you talk to people who were online, the person in front of you, the person behind you. It's all all about relationships.
Yeah.
And it's a place where no matter what you come from, what background, who's going to argue over a bagel?
Nobody. No, it's great. How did you find that East Brunswick as a town? How does East Brunswick fare amongst some of the other towns that you visited? Like, where are we at here? You said that there's a lot more still to do here in East Brunswick, but again, with some other towns, how's East Brunswick faring?
Well, In terms of what?
Well, I guess, I mean, you visited so many other towns that you might have said, wow, they've got this, or they don't have that, but East Brunswick has this. So where does East Brunswick kind of fit? Where are we at?
Well, I'm very proud of what we're doing here, and
Yeah.
I'm very proud of our town. The 12th Congressional District is a very diverse district. You go from very rural areas to areas that are urban, to areas that are more suburban, to areas that are just farms. It has everything. So it's really hard to say, what are we doing? Like the people that are in rural areas want it rural.
Gotcha.
The people that are in urban, that's what it's always been, right? Plainfield and Trenton, they've always been urban areas. We're not going to make that suburban.
Right. No, right.
So-
It is right.
What I think we are doing is that we're investing in the township and investing in our most important commercial corridor in a way that it's taking notice in a lot of other towns. People have the buzz about East Brunswick.
Yeah, that's right. The
Like
buzz
there's
right
a
here,
buzz.
right.
People say, "Oh my God, I can't believe all the stuff that's going on." But it needed. People just have to recognize that you couldn't leave it the way it was.
No.
You know, would you like me to start parking all the pictures
No,
on what it looked like before
we don't want to go back
started?
there. No, we don't want to go back there. No.
So clearly that's not sustainable. It's
Right.
not helping the town. So it's vision and then being able to act on that vision in a way that gets things done efficiently. Government's not used to acting efficiently.
Sure, right. But no, I think you kept on pleading that you needed someone to get in there, and that the government is kind of messed up a little bit. And then I think your role was that you were going in there. It didn't matter Democrat or Republican. You were doing what was right.
That's all you should be doing.
Right.
I think as a mayor, there's no Democratic or Republican or independent or green or libertarian or any other party you might belong to way of providing services, taking care of roads, getting garbage, providing recreational opportunities, cleaning up parts of your town that need redevelopment because they've fallen into disrepair. There really isn't a Democratic or Republican way of doing it. Case in point being this whole affordable housing thing.
Sure.
It's very funny that regardless of what political party you belong to, these requirements are being imposed on every town.
Right.
Everybody has to do them. You can't get out of them.
Right.
If you're a Republican-controlled town, the Democrats that are trying to get in are trying to take you out because of all the affordable housing things that you're doing. And if you're a democratically controlled town, the Republicans are trying to do that.
Right.
So clearly,
But it
has
doesn't-
nothing to do with the party that's
Right.
in charge. It has to do with a moratorium made by the courts on the things that we need to do in order to satisfy these obligations. And they don't care if the town's run by Democrats or Republicans
Right.
or
Has nothing to do with
independent or committees. They don't care. So that's a lot that we have in terms of an example of success that you could talk about
Right.
when you are out there. And I think results and experience should matter.
No, I think you're right on that. You did so many town halls, but then some of the town hall events that you've hosted here in East Brunswick had to kind of like pause a little bit while you took a more commanding role of running for Congress. Do you see yourself getting back to doing a lot more town hall events here in East Brunswick?
Yeah, I think that the main role of the mayor and the council and the elected officials, whether it's Board of Ed, is to be out there in the public and explaining the things that they're doing and asking for input. We've been doing that ever since we started, the whole redevelopment agency and a lot of the committees that we put in place, all designed so that we could extract from folks information as to what they think is important in these crucial decisions and then be able to translate back to them through those same people what we're doing. So we get a pulse on what the community is thinking and try to explain. On top of all of that, the town halls are things that are meant to help answer questions that people have.
Right.
And the problem is that they're not always so well attended.
Sure, right.
Despite advertising
Right,
for
we
it and
tried.
saying that
That's
they're
right.
going to do it and doing them in different places and schools, the town facilities,
Religious
houses of
homes.
worship,
Yep.
right? And some have been attended more than others.
Right.
But the point has always been to get information out. And and be malleable to the point that if somebody comes up with a great idea that no one thought about,
Right.
I mean, that can happen.
Yeah. No, I
Right?
get it. Yep.
And we often get some great ideas out of those meetings because somebody thinks of something that we didn't think of. It's not only being directed by me. We have a council, we have a redevelopment agency,
Sure.
we have planning
Right.
boards. We have
Of course.
lots of people that are all involved in some of the decisions they made. They're not resting on one person's shoulders.
But all the naysayers,
Well-
because of the mayor, it's because of the mayor.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like
Right,
I told
right.
you have to have
Yeah.
big shoulders.
Yeah.
But so these decisions haven't been made in vacuums. We've got lots of people who are professionals guiding us through this stuff, telling us
Sure.
what we can and can't do or have to do. So all of that is embedded into everything that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it still remains areas of concern for folks. And no matter how many times they're going to ask the question the same way or pretend that they lived under the Geico rock for the last 20 years and didn't know what was going on, and now they're surprised because this building is coming up and they knew nothing about it.
Right.
We're going to act as if it's the first time they ever asked that question and be patient
Yeah.
and answer it. And at the end of the day, everybody isn't always going to agree on everything.
No, they're
right?
not.
That's not
Never.
possible.
Never. Right.
We live in a democracy.
Of course.
And we have to do certain things that are done because the vast majority of people want it. But to expect 100% of people to agree is unrealistic, will never happen.
Correct.
And there are some things that we just have to do. And our only decision is how to do it in a way that best benefits the township.
Right.
But not doing it isn't the option.
Was there ever a point in your campaign where you said, I should have zigged, but I zagged, and maybe that's the reason this happened, and if I had to do it all over again, I would zig instead of zagging? Or was there a moment where you said, I should do that, or I should have done it?
No, I think everything that we made decisions that were made were done as a result of the conditions presented to us. I would have loved conditions in some ways to be different.
Right.
But given what we had to work with, I think that the decisions we made were pretty much on target. And there's, again, a lot of things that in expanding the horizon and looking at the whole congressional district, it's interesting that what matters to certain people in certain towns, even within our own Democratic Party, is very different than the things that matter to people in others.
Gotcha.
And it's because we all come from different environments.
Right.
We all come from different thought processes on what, maybe we all have the same things on our list of things that are important,
Right.
but we rank them differently.
Well, did you find it difficult sometimes trying to get through to certain people, or do you think that you're what you were running on was making points with a lot of people?
Hard to say. I think
Yeah.
there's some people that are just fixed in their mind on what they want in a candidate. And unless you pass I got to agree with you 100% on everything, you'll never get their support.
Right. It's got to be
Frankly,
frustrating.
I think it's a problem in this country.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we hold people to unreasonable expectations of our candidates. And you're not going to find somebody who is a 10 out of 10
Right.
on everything, regardless of party.
Sure.
And what I see happening is a polarization that's getting worse. I think that the Citizens United decision that allows all of this dark money into campaigns
Right.
Has allowed people to have access to messaging that, unless you have that kind of money, you can't do.
Right.
And I think what's happening in general is we're seeing the polarization of parties, and it's dividing us more than it's uniting us. And that's not healthy for this country. It just isn't.
Yeah, no, I think, so many kids are, when they're born, parents kind of like, almost like kind of like say, like, you're going to be Republican or you're going to be Democrat. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of maturity for children to grow into adults, to make those decisions for themselves on what party they lie on and everything. So I would imagine it is somewhat difficult to try to take your message and pass it along to someone else that's already like stuck with how they're thinking. It's very difficult, I would imagine, to make somebody rethink why they're thinking a certain way, right?
That's true. I also think we're just dealing with people in general in public who are just angry.
Yeah.
Right? They're as we mentioned earlier, no matter how hard they work, they feel they're not getting ahead. Mm-hmm. Everybody in almost every group's kind of worried. Seniors are always worried that they're going to, do something that's going to affect their Social Security and their Medicare, which are benefits that they worked their entire life for. It's a contract that the country had with them for all the years that they worked. And now they're at a point in time where their incomes are fixed and they're afraid,
right?
Legitimately.
Right.
I think there's young people who are finding it harder and harder to get into the economy.
Yeah.
And we need them to get into the economy. That's how the economy works, by everybody being participatory. Right. And there's a whole generation that feel that they can't. Mm-hmm. And we need to figure out ways to fix that. I think that the media loves controversy, clicks.
Right.
And so they love to give the camera and the megaphone to the people that are the most extreme in each party. And it's ignoring the fact that the vast majority of people in the center, which is the majority, don't always feel that it has to be so black and white.
Yeah.
And but they don't always get out and vote. And so that's how you get those groups that are at the extremes representing people, because the folks that want them are ardent and will be out there voting.
Last question: Would you do this again, knowing now what you went through? Would you do it all over again if there was another seat that was available? Is this still in you now, or are you satisfied with what you did and how your campaign went?
No, I wouldn't do it again.
You wouldn't?
No. I experienced an unusual and unfair amount of anti-Semitism.
Wow.
And I just can't put myself and my family through that again. So unless something fundamentally changes, or the manner in which we run elections changes, then, that's just unfortunate and needs to be addressed. But I'm not in a good place with that.
Okay. I think that says a lot. It says a lot. Well, I'm very proud to work with you, really, and I think that a lot of people would agree that what you've accomplished here in East Brunswick is just it's by far exceeding so many things, and people are going to realize, one day, all the great things that you've done here in this town.
Well,
so thank you very much.
Just do what you think is the right thing at any moment in time.
Yep.
And try to explain it and be consistent and hold people accountable to get there. Right? Mm-hmm. If there's anything I can't stand, is when people come in and give you a million reasons why they can't do something.
Do it, right.
I'm sick of that.
Right.
Tell me how you've looked at the problem and know that this is the solution, and you've figured out how to remove the obstacles and reach a point where we can do something.
Gotcha.
But listening to all the reasons why you can't do something,
right,
I have zero interest in that.
All right. There you go, guys. I think we accomplished a lot right there, didn't we? I think that was great. All right, listen, let's take another look inside and around East Brunswick, and we'll get back and we'll wrap some things up here. This is the Buzz About East Brunswick. Hey, East Brunswick, this is just a reminder that all bulk item pickups must be scheduled in advance, either online at eastbrunswick.org or by calling Solid Waste and Recycling at 732-390-6984. Here are friendly guidelines to remember. Residents may place a maximum of 3 bulk items per week. Mattresses and box springs must be completely wrapped in plastic. Refrigerator doors must be removed. Wood bundles must be no longer than 4 feet and weigh under 50 pounds. And electronics are not collected curbside. They must be dropped off at the East Brunswick Recycling Center. Let's all work together to keep East Brunswick clean and safe. All right, guys, so we're about to wrap things up here on episode 32 of The Buzz About East Brunswick. And, I just want to say one more time, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for opening up to everybody, the viewers, the listeners, to myself. Just thank you. It's I always find it very difficult to always put yourself out there, but you seem to always be able to do it. And as tough as it is, you still do it. So just thank you very much. That was really great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, so on a lighter note, we have a big history walk that's coming up. It'll be on June 13th, this coming Saturday. And you being a big history buff, you're going to be a part of it, of the history walk? Are you going to be there?
I usually do.
Yeah. So I'm saying, right. Yeah, so the East Brunswick Museum is hosting the America 250th birthday party,
right.
And the History Walk will be on June 13th, which is coming Saturday.
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of fun there. They're gonna have a lot of guest speakers. They're gonna be taking a walk over there. There's gonna be birthday party celebration. There's so many things that are happening.
Well, I think a lot of people
right
don't recognize it on that section of town, which for the longest
Right.
time people thought was Old Bridge, because there was a big sign that said the Old Bridge section.
Yeah.
Basically, that's still East
The
Brunswick.
original East Brunswick over there. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so learning about the history of the township,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was where the center of town was.
Right.
The library, first one was there. And a lot of the architecture dates back to Civil War, pre-Civil War. The cemetery has people buried even from the American Revolution. So
it's really
is a fascinating part of town. And East Brunswick has played a very important role in our history as a nation. There's also not there, but there's a small little island on the other side of the landfill.
Okay.
Right, landfill's in East Brunswick, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm looking
On the
thinking,
other side of landfill, which you can only access from Edison, because you can't see it from East Brunswick, because it's a
I
tiny
think you mentioned
island
that once before. Yeah.
called
Right.
Bennett's Island.
That's it. That's right. Okay.
And the American troops had a battle there, and they stationed there as they were making their way through New Jersey during the Revolutionary War. So unfortunately, we've got a big plaque on the Edison side of town looking at the island, because you can't see it from East Brunswick. But there's an awful lot of history right here in our own town, as it relates to this country. And I think it's great that that we should have more of our kids know about it.
Right.
I know that the schools are strapped for money for field trips, but frankly, they don't really have to go far.
No, you don't.
You can
Not at
learn
all.
about American history right in your own town.
You're right. And we had a really good podcast episode several episodes back when we were at the museum there, and it was fascinating to learn a little bit more about East Brunswick and the history, and George Washington marching through here, and it's pretty cool, pretty neat.
Yeah.
Also coming up is this coming Friday is our very first outdoor market, and East Brunswick loves to do these outdoor markets, and we're kicking it off this coming Friday. We're hoping the weather's going to cooperate with us.
We saw that there was a pretty big turnout for the evening event, so that's why they're starting out this year with evening event. Hopefully the weather cooperates. It's always a weather dependent thing.
Always.
But a lot of good vendors, a lot of good food, and music, and it's an opportunity again for the township and every aspect of the community finds something there that they can enjoy. And we interact with one another.
Sure.
Right?
It's all about interactions.
I've always said that we're a big town that's diverse, but I take diversity off of a piece of paper, which is an adjective describing a town.
I get you.
And move it to a verb. Right. Get them out.
Right.
Start interacting with people, recognizing that we could share in township events, cultural events, and
it's the grassroots. That's what it's all about. Meeting people, shaking hands.
And we're a very diverse town in one of the most diverse counties in one of the most diverse states. It's an asset.
Right. Of course it is. Listen, not many towns have that. You're right. It's sort of a melting pot with all the people that are here in East Brunswick, and how through the years East Brunswick has changed. And it is pretty nice that you have so many different
and these kids are going to grow up in a world where they have every possible ethnic group, religion, background.
Right.
that they know about.
Right.
They know about their holidays, their cultures, their traditions, their
Correct.
norms. And when they go out in the business world later on,
That's how it's going to be.
an asset.
That's
It's a
right.
huge asset.
Yeah, yeah. And then last but not least, you're a big proponent on everybody should learn how to swim. So Crystal Springs is going to be hosting the largest swim lesson, which is happening on June the 25th.
Yeah, we started doing that after our series of a couple of unfortunate drownings that we had a couple of years ago, and recognized that it's not just kids that need to learn to swim. There's a lot of adults that have never learned to swim.
Right.
It should be. I don't think you should graduate high school without knowing how to swim.
No,
It's a
you've
skill.
said that before, for sure. Yeah, I get that.
So we offer those no charge, but we just do not want people having swimming accidents because they didn't know how to swim.
Right.
So we'll help them get started, and that's one of the benefits that we have having Crystal Springs and having the pools. And please go out and learn a skill.
Yep.
And who knows, someday that skill may help you save your life or someone else's.
You're absolutely correct. Well, there you go, guys. On that note, episode 32 is in the books, and this was... I was looking forward to this episode. I really was. I hope you approved of how this episode went. And it has been really great to be able to sit next to you for 32 episodes and co-host this podcast.
That's great. I mean, I think that the benefit for the town is that you get a little bit more insight into how I think and so, you know, spice it up a little bit, have a sense of humor.
Right. Well, I've learned a lot about your sense of humor. That's right. I've learned a lot. It's good.
It's got an edge to
it. All right, man. So this is great. All right, guys, we are out. Again, Mayor Cohen, myself, Greg T. Episode 32 is in the books officially. And go out and tell all your friends about it. It's a fun podcast. And if you don't know anything about East Brunswick, well, you're certainly missing out.
Yeah, tune in.
Yeah,
tune in.
The Buzz About East Brunswick.